Hello, welcome in. Happy Thursday. Let's see, give me a quick moment, as always, por favor, to set up my stream, get some sage, get some water. So feel free to get cozy, settle on in, and do the same. All right. And we've arrived. So this will be my second self-care stream. I do get a little vulnerable at the end of these, and I will be putting a bentonite clay mask on my stomach again. That was super helpful the last time I did it, and I think I lost, my phone died, so my stream crashed, and I did restart the stream, but I ended up just deleting the playback because it didn't really make sense, and it was really glitchy. So we're redoing it, and I'm still just continuing on that same path, that same journey of taking care of myself. So I had a vegan, no, it wasn't vegan. The cheese was vegan. I tried a vegan cheese pizza last night, and I swear if it's not from a tree or from the ground, it's just not sitting with me lately. So I just need to stop. I need to stop trying and just really focus on fresh foods and really try to incorporate that into my life more. So I did take an activated charcoal pill today, right away this morning, just because there was so much activity going on in my stomach. It was disgusting, it was gross, and it was making me not feel good. I was in a lot of pain. So ever since I've taken the activated charcoal, my stomach has calmed down. There's not been as much activity. I'm still just feeling kind of low energy. So my solar plexus is definitely a center that I will be focusing on for the next few weeks, the next few months. That is one of my main chakras that needs some healing, needs some love and attention. So not only am I going to be doing energetic work with it today, we're going to be in the kitchen juicing up some orange juices and some vegetarian soup. That's what I'll be having for lunch. And then we'll be doing the bentonite clay afterwards. So go ahead, get cozied in, get settled. Thank you for being here. And if you have any incense, want to light a candle, or you would like to burn some herbs, please do so in a fireproof, safe bowl or where it is safe. And let's begin. So I'm using white sage here. White sage is really good for cleansing, purity. Not only cleansing energetically, but also cleansing physically. So when we have any sort of like depression or nightmares or funky energy going around, or if literally the trash stinks, I will go and light some sage around that area, in order to honor and give gratitude to the plant that we are using. It is good to have your gratitude while you're using it in your mind. You can say it in your mind. It's really smoky. I need some cleansing. Definitely, it's all going like right into my solar plexus. So this is just good for cleansing, purifying. You see it's going all over just like my body. This is really good for me. It makes me feel so calm. It's good for people who may experience anxiety, depression, PTSD. What this does is it counterbalances the negative and the positive ions. So it really just brings the vibe back to being grounded, back to being calm. Some people are allergic to sage, so they're unable to use it. Also, let's see what else about sage. If you live in an apartment or a condo, or just somewhere with your parents or with someone who doesn't like smoke, you can put white sage in witch hazel or in alcohol and spritz it on yourself, around your aura, in your space. You can put herbs in a spritzer instead of using the smoke for cleansing purposes, for uplifting, or whatever you use it for, just to calm the heck down. Maybe you just like the smell of it. So that's the deets on what I'm doing with that. I know you guys have heard this a million times if you watch my channel before, but for anyone who's new here, I just like to explain, what is she doing? You know, what am I doing? Whenever I see people and my role models that I like to watch, I want to know every little thing they're doing. What are you drinking? What are you eating? Why are you burning that? So I hope you enjoy the details. It brings a really calming vibe to the atmosphere. It's also antibacterial. I believe it's antiviral, don't quote me on that, but that is also why it's really good to burn. If you've been sick, like I said, if you've been depressed, just low energy, low mood, sage can be really uplifting, not only for the soul, for the mind, but also for, you know, your body, your cells. But not if you're allergic to it. If you have an allergy to it, if you get really stuffy or itchy, then don't use it. Hey beautiful. Hey lovely, how are you? I'm just about to get started with a chakra session. I know you're probably working, but thank you for being here. I'm good, how are you? The pizza is not doing me very kindly, and so I'm doing another self-care stream today. So unfortunately, the Daya pizza is delicious, but my stomach is wild, and I took an activated charcoal pill earlier this morning, so I'm be taking care of myself today and sticking to veggies today. So my stomach really hurts still, and we're gonna be doing some chakra work and then some kitchen stuff. I'm glad you're doing good. I bet you're excited to go to your trip soon. I'm so sorry, that sucks. No, it's okay. It was so tasty. Even Nick was like, dang, that pizza smells good. So I ate 3 pieces of it. So I cut it into 4 pieces, and I ate 3 pieces, and I knew I shouldn't have eaten the last piece, but I got kind of hungry, so that was not the call. And I still have one more in the fridge, and I'm like, It was tasty. I love the mushrooms on it, but it's not worth the stomach pain. But I hate throwing away pizza. Well, not even throwing away pizza. Throwing away food, especially because that pizza was like $8. But who knows? We'll see. I don't think Nick's gonna eat it, but maybe I could see if he'll try it. Who knows? Once I get my abs in order, I'll be excited. You're so funny. Yeah. I don't blame you. It's hard throwing away food. I'm sad it made you sick. Oh, it's okay. Don't be sad. I'm just gonna focus more on just the fresh food aisle and just kind of stick to there. When I start going off into the other aisles of the grocery store, I just start to get sick. So I just need to figure it out what I can concoct from the fresh stuff. And some of my old recipes are coming back to me. So I'm just gonna go back to some of that stuff. I'm starting to remember it again. So I guess if you just keep hitting rock bottom, you have nowhere to go but up, right? Insanity. It is hard to throw away food, though, for sure. Alright, so I'm gonna get started with the chakra session. You guys can just hop in and join me. I won't be responding to the chat really until the end of the chakra session. So if you have questions, great, go ahead and ask them, but I probably won't be responding until the end. So my apologies. Excuse me. My eyes will be closed for some of this so that I can kind of see what's going on in my chakras. I encourage you and invite you to do the same. Your story will not be the same as mine. Your colors that are in your chakras may look different than mine. Maybe you're seeing scenarios, situations, relationships, maybe old past things are coming up. The object is not to judge, but to cleanse, to release, to just observe some of this stuff. What is hanging out? What are some of these energies trapped in these energy centers? Now, all we are doing is connecting circuits. So, any place where we bend, energy can get trapped. So, you can think your core, your arms, your knees, your feet, your toes. Energy can just get stuck and can get stagnant, and this work can just help clear all that out from feet to head. Now, this is not a cure for absolutely anything. You should not stop what you're doing and just only do this. Okay, this is an add-on that you can add to anything you may already be doing. Now, I like to begin by telling people I'm not a professional at this. I have learned from a mentor, and I do wish that I had more practice and experience, but it is what it is, and we're growing. So we are learning as we go as well. So if you do want to see a professional for energy work, for Reiki, for some of this alternative and holistic type of stuff, please, I highly encourage you, look into it, research it, find out what resonates with you if you would like a professional qualified edition of something similar to this. Do frozen fruits and veggies get you sick too? I'm sorry, I'm distracting you. No, you're okay. I have to try to stay away from certain fruits because of the sugar, just because of what's going on with my stomach right now. And like I said, I just kind of usually try to stick to fresh, because if it's been frozen, it's already been altered, the medicinal quality isn't as strong. So Nick's gonna be home more often, and so we're gonna be able to go to the grocery store a lot more frequently. His car will be here. Life is just about to change in a big, huge way for us, so I ain't even worried about it. But I am gonna still, keep taking care of myself so that I can heal, because I need to gain some weight. All my summer clothes are like getting really baggy on me, and I just want to heal. So I'm gonna get myself there. All right, I'm starting this chakra session now. Like I said, you can hop in and join me wherever you're at. Get seated on the floor, on a bed, on a couch. If you can't get seated like this, please don't try. Just do what's comfortable for you. Use your best intention. These are not yoga poses. These are just hand placements. So we're starting with the left side of the body. Ooh, my stomach is in a lot of pain, so I apologize. And appreciate you guys for being here, seeing, what's going on in real life, and having some patience for that as well. All right, so take your left hand, left hand is gonna be placed on the top of your right foot. And like I said, if you can't get in this position, maybe you're like this, maybe you're up in a chair, that's fine. And your right hand is going to be placed on the bottom of your left foot. So your hands can be clasped or they can be cupped. Either way, we're just circulating energy right here. Oh, before we do that, I always just jump in and get started. We're going to connect with our higher selves, connect with Source. We're going to invite in any of your Ascension team, Ascended Masters, ancestors, anyone that you would like to personally work with. If you believe in angels, whatever labels, whoever your team, your Ascension team is, go ahead and call them in. You can repeat after me, or you can say these words in your mind. I'll slow it down so that I'm not going so fast when I start this session. So close your eyes, take 3 deep breaths, breathe in, and exhale at your own pace, fully and completely. Don't worry about what you sound like, don't worry about what you hear. My stomach is already gurgling. Take another breath at your own pace. If you can't keep up with me, that's fine. And exhale at your own pace. And breathe in, one more. And exhale. And now this is where you can begin to repeat after me or just say these words in your mind. I ask to be merged with my highest self. My I am presence on all planes of existence now. Breathe that in. Have authority, command that the oversoul be with you now on all timelines, past, present, and future. Link them up. And it's okay if you feel a filtering in, a trickling, if you feel a little push, a little whoosh. It's not paranormal. It is your higher self being with you now. Sometimes the higher self can just kind of hang out behind us. What I feel like is the guardian angel, kind of always looking over you. You know, there's lots of things going on, but that's one aspect where it's not always too uncommon to feel uncomfortable when starting this work if you kind of feel a little brush. So you're safe, you're okay, you're protected, you're solid. And now call in and merge with source energy. So I ask to be connected fully and completely with divine source energy here and now. Just repeat something similar. If you don't have the words exact, it's okay. It doesn't need to be exact. Make up your form of this work. This practice can totally be made your own. Breathe it in. It's okay if you feel strange, if you don't know what you're doing. It's kind of like a guided visualization, guided meditation, similar to that. And now begin to call in your ascension team, Ascended Masters, whoever it is that you're willing to work with. So I'll show you my version of that. I call in my ascension team, teachers, healers, masters, and doctors. Invite you into the space, cleanse the space, protect the space. I invite in my spirit guide. I invite in my angels and my ancestors that are working on my highest behalf. Come be with me now, protect the space, cleanse the space. And once you've invited in your ascension team, begin to imagine liquid golden energy, which looks like the thickness and consistency of honey, dripping down the walls from the ceiling all the way down the walls, down, 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 sealing any cracks, any crevices, any openings or exits to the space. Seal off the room you may be in, any windows, door frames, just any openings, holes, outlets, just anything. See this liquid golden energy now, which is source energy, just closing off and embalming the space, protecting the space, cleansing the space. Breathe it in. Exhale. And once you begin to feel grounded, solid, safe, protected, maybe you feel enclosed, like there's a circle around you. This is all good. This is the goal. This is what we're looking for. If you don't feel these things and you're like, what the heck am I doing? That's cool too. That is just fine. We all have a starting point. When we learn to swim, we look ridiculous. You know, we're just out there kicking. We don't know what we're doing. So it's okay if you are new at this. All right. And I do invite you to close your eyes if you have an easy time getting distracted. So if you're distracted by shiny things and literally like butterflies flying outside the window, close your eyes. This is your time. That can be the ego trying to do anything and everything but the work internally. And so closing your eyes, see what colors you see if there's darkness, see if you can tap into the energy. If you can't see, I invite you to feel. What does it feel like? Is it cold? Is it abandoned? Is it neglected? Is there circulation there? Yes or no? Just ask yourself some really basic questions. Don't get lost, but just observe. Thank you for following Alchemy. Perfect timing. You can hop right in and join us if you would like to, or you can just listen. All right, so now we will begin the very first step after we've connected with our higher selves, after we've called in Source, our Ascension team, Ascended Masters, ancestors working on our highest behalf. Okay, that's important. We don't just want to call in everyone and everyone. We want only those working on our highest behalf to invite them into the space, right? We don't need any funky things going on, ill will, bad intentions. No, thank you. We are here to, live purposely. So let's get intentional with it. Grab your left hand, make the L. That's how you know you're working with the left. Top of the left foot. Ooh, cute little emote. And right hand, bottom of the left foot. So breathe in and align here. Exhale at your own pace. And begin to invite in source energy, this liquid golden honey. That's what it looks like. Or if you see it some other way, that's completely fine too. Invite that energy into the toes, into the core of the foot, and into the heel. So if your hands begin to pulse, if your foot begins to get warm, this is all natural. It's just energy. And breathe that in. Close your eyes and think down into your foot. What does the space of your foot look like? Are there situations? Is there pain? Is there stagnant energy? Is it dark? What does it look like for you? So just begin to observe while you take some deep breaths here. And for me, there is some heat and like a lot of creaking going on. So there's a lot of stuff already shifting, moving. Like I said, I ate something that didn't really agree with me, so there was a lot of chaos going on in my stomach. That can all be released. So breathe it in. It's pretty dark for me. And this is to connect the circuits back with the earth again. So we must start with the feet. Breathe in, keep breathing in the golden liquid energy into the toes, into the heel, into the core of the foot. And see it not only radiating inside your foot, but pulsing and dancing, glowing, and getting bigger and brighter and stronger, emanating all the way outside of the foot too, into the space that you are currently in. See it glowing, be a beacon, it's okay, you're safe, you're protected. Feel the heat, feel the creaking. If you don't feel anything at all, it's okay. Some people don't start feeling things until we start working with the chakras. So if that's your case, just know that that can happen. So I'm feeling a lot of creaking, a lot of heat. Keep breathing it in. Exhale. Let's do 2 more breaths here. Keep seeing the energy, brighten it up. See the blood, the bones, the cells of the foot drinking in this energy. And on the exhales, release anything that no longer serves you. Release anything that you may have stepped in or physically taken on from others. Release it through the foot. See it just being released back to source. I like to envision the glow from source like an alchemical fire and just burning off any darkness, anything sticky, anything dense, and just cleansing and purifying. Anything that doesn't belong there, anything not of source, anything not of my highest good, anything I may have taken on, right? It's so easy to take on things from the world out there. So just keep breathing in this energy into the left foot. Feel it vibrating between the hands, the palms, the fingers, the foot, the ankle. And once you really feel like you have the energy circulating, buzzing, glowing, move that left hand up to the ankle and the right hand over crisscross to that left knee. And if you can't reach, I know I tend to lean and it makes my hip cut circulation off between my ribs right here. So if you can't completely reach, don't worry about it. Just use your best intention here. Your intention is strong enough to get the job done. You could sit here and not have to move your hands at all and still just listen to the meditation and still benefit. So don't hurt yourself here. Left hand's on the left ankle and the right hand is crisscrossed. The reason why we crisscross our energy here is because within our bodies, our DNA helix is literally crisscrossed at an energetic point. And so when we become one-minded, when we become stagnant in our thinking, when we become stubborn and selfish, we literally send our energy parallel. It's no longer circular and flow and freeing and crossed over. We're not crossed over using both sides of our brain. We're stuck in one hemisphere. So this is how, even though we can't see energy within us, what is internal is also reflected external. So just think about that for a moment. Bring an awareness to anywhere where maybe you've been stuck energetically, maybe in your thinking, maybe you've been stubborn or selfish. See where you can offer yourself a little bit of love, a little bit of grace, a little bit more kindness. No need to blame or shame or guilt, because that is here what we are here to cleanse, to release, and to work on, to illuminate the darkness. So breathe in, sit up and align. Notice if you've begun to sink into it, crouch. Let that heart chakra shine bright and just reach as best as you can. So breathe in and begin to invite in that source energy that was in the foot. See it now dancing and building strong foundations up into the ankle. Feel it circulating, building, glimmering, shimmering, shining, just glowing. Maybe you see it as a sunrise coming up into the foot, into the ankle, all the way up into the shins. Building, 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 up, up, up now. You can't feel the tingle, if you can't feel the warmth, it's okay. Just listen, just try to visualize this happening. Breathe it in. And see it traveling now all the way up into the knee, around the joints, the tendons, the ligaments. Let source energy swirl. Maybe you have some sports injuries, some stiffness. Maybe you've got some arthritis going on. Just see if you can let this heat release some of the pain, some of the tension. Breathe it in. I know my knee is very warm while my foot now got very cold. So that's just kind of an insight of what's going on into my body. Thank you for following Retro Chulini. You can hop right in with us or sit back and listen if you like. So keep breathing in. And exhale at your own pace. The bigger and the fuller we inhale and exhale, the deeper we are cleansing our organs. When we breathe really shallow, we can actually cause ourselves to live in a state of fear, panic, anxiety, just low vibrations, because we are not fully breathing into life with all the vitality that we can take. That's power. If we're choosing to shallow breathe, we're choosing to not operate fully in our power, we're choosing to kind of resist. So just explore. I'm a shallow breather. I suppress a lot of my emotions, so I do deep breathing to work on that, to explore that, and to heal and to cleanse that, as well as adding additional therapies into my work. So keep breathing in, keep building the strong foundations, keep seeing source energy traveling. Maybe you see it from the sky, maybe you see it from all around you, or wherever, that's perfect. See it traveling up the toes, the ankle, the heel. The heel comes before the ankle, you know that. Up the shin and into the knee. Breathe it in. And exhale and release the pose. Let's move on up to the hips now, and then we'll connect the right side of the body before we move on up to the chakras. And that's where the real special work is. If you're starting to get sore, switch into a position that's comfortable for you. Make this practice your own. You never have to copy exactly what I'm doing. If something feels more comfortable for you, then do it. Okay, hips. Breathe in here, make sure your posture, this is a little posture check, a chance to realign within every pose that we do. Breathe in, hands are on the hips, and they can be facing forwards, or you can have thumbs out, guns out, right? So whatever way is comfortable for your personal wrists, do that. Make sure that they are on the sides of the hips. You want to be touching the actual hip bones, not just your bum. Breathe in. Exhale. And invite that energy from source, from the foot into the ankle, into the knee, all the way up that quad, up the hamstrings. See it traveling, building, glowing, radiating, dancing, nourishing the body. Breathe it in. And exhale any tension, any pain, any soreness, stiffness, tension, just any stagnant energy, anything that doesn't serve the highest self. Cleanse it now in this source energy, this golden glimmering energy. See it as a fire, see it as the sun. Breathe it in. See it traveling up into the hips and circulating, spinning, glowing, pulsing. Maybe you feel the warmth. I know my stomach is making all sorts of grumbling noises. Lots of things happening. One more breath here at your own pace. And exhale at your own pace. And next pose. Next hand placement. Left hand is going to be placed on the bottom of the right foot. The right hand is going to be placed on the top of that right foot. And breathe in and align. And exhale at your own pace. And explore this area really quickly before we just dive right in. What's this area feel like? Is it sticky? Is there pain? Is it sharp? Is it dense? Is it wiggly? What does this area feel like for you? Drop down from your mind's eye, all the way down your central spinal column, past the tailbone, down in the legs, down into that foot. Go there with your travel from your mind down in there. What does it look like? What does it feel like? And there's no need to judge. We are simply observing. Mine feels a little stagnant, like there's no spark of energy, like a car that ran out of gas, like it was just putzing along and it's just hanging out. So that's what mine personally feels like. Maybe yours feels different. Oh yeah, that's definitely, now we're having pains in the knee. So we're gonna dive into that and explore that. It is a little chilly in here. I'm going to grab a blankie. Ooh. Get cozy while you do this work. Ooh, really chilly. Okay. I'd also like to mention at any point during this session, if you start to feel pain, I'm talking like a weird sensation, pain come up into your hands and start to travel up the wrist, up the forearm, and into the elbow, do not let it cross the elbow. Stop what you're doing. Rub your hands together like this. Really get that friction, get that heat going, and shake it out. Once it passes the elbow, there's really not much that we can do with it. It's in the body. We're going to have to do some work. So anytime you're experiencing like negativity, feel like you've taken on something from others, or before, if you do any type of work on other people, it's good to just rub your hands. A lot of people will say, my hands are cold. That could be too, there's no circulation. You do need to bring some energy to that area so you don't frighten people if you are a massage therapist or, anything like that. So this is really good to cleanse the energy that we've taken on from the world. Alrighty, so that's a quick tip, because the last time we were doing this energy session, the last time I was doing this energy session, I kept having pain come back into my body, and I kept having to, eliminate, or not eliminate it, but cleanse, stop, and clear it, and then continue on a few different times. So just a heads up, a little tip if that is happening to you. Okay, let's see, where are we here? We're connecting with the foot again. Okay. So left hand is still on the bottom of the left foot, and the right hand is on the top of the right foot. Breathe in and align. And exhale. And invite in source energy. I like to envision it as the sun rising up into the foot, glowing, burning off any darkness, any stagnant waters, stagnant energy, stagnant cells, stagnant blood. There we go. Now we got some shifts moving. So just command, have authority. Have strong intention and focus on what you're doing. Because energy flows where attention goes. So we're focused on all the negatives and what's wrong. It doesn't often or always lead to solutions. So when we learn to observe without our emotions, we can then take inspired or guided action. Just keep breathing in source energy into the foot, into the toes, into the heel. And my apologies, I might have to sneeze. Nope, we're good. And I'm starting to feel a lot of warmth in my foot. Cleansing off anything that no longer serves you, anything that, once again, that you may have stepped in from others, taken on from others, stepped in or stepped on, right? We can be forgiving, we can be loving. We can definitely step all over people. So just offer your foot a little bit of love, a little bit of grace, a little bit of cleansing energy here. Breathe it in. Exhale at your own pace. And let's move on up to the ankle. So slide that right hand to the ankle and the left hand all the way over to that left knee. If you can't reach, once again, just use your intention. That's great. Breathe in and align. Exhale at your own pace. And on the next inhale, begin to invite in source energy all the way from the toes up through the arch of the foot, or if you have flat feet too, through the flat foot, part of the core of your foot, through the heel, up through the ankle, building and glowing, shimmering and shining now, illuminating any darkness up, up, up through the shin, through the calf, and into the knee. And now see if you can begin to swirl that energy between the two palms. See if you can feel it between your leg and the ankle and the foot. And just tap in here. Breathe it in. Notice if you're leaning, causing pain in your knee. Kind of shift a little bit if you're still having pain, like I am experiencing. See if you can burn it off with the source energy, the golden liquid light. Breathe in source energy on the inhales and exhale anything that no longer serves you, any pain, tension, density on the exhales. Mine isn't really moving, it just kind of want to stay stuck there. And I can feel it now up into my hip too, so I feel like it is located higher, even higher up. So before, you may have remembered that I mentioned when I started working on this right foot, I suddenly had this weird pain in my knee, and now it's traveling up into my hip. So I think that just shows you my hips have been a little misaligned, and we'll get to the purpose and the symbolization of what that represents. So keep breathing in, you're doing fabulous. Exhale at your own pace. Do any kind of movements that feel good for your body that you feel like you need. I just needed a little neck roll there for me, but if that's not safe for you, do not do it. Oh, my whole spine just cracked. Oh, that's amazing. So keep breathing in. We're definitely working through some things here. Definitely purging out some energy that was not serving us. And you know what? You don't have to root around in the ashes. If you can't see it, if you don't know why, you don't have to. If you just feel like you're cleansing and it's releasing and your muscles are relaxing, that is, you're releasing stress. If you're having physical signs of stress release and relaxation, you know you're doing something right. You don't even have to know what the heck it is. So breathe in. And exhale. And we're just spending a little bit extra time here because I personally need it. So if you're just like chilling on the sidelines and you're like, I'm good, I don't need this anymore, that's fine. Just sit there patiently and we'll begin the next pose here in a moment. And breathe in. And last exhale, really make it count. All right, move on up to the back of the hips now. Oh yeah, the hips are definitely off center. I'm having pain now in the pelvis even. It might just work all the way up, who knows? So we'll see what's going on here. Every day can be different. I also think I may have pulled a muscle like a week or maybe 2 weeks ago now because I thought it was just sore, but now that it's been 2 weeks and it's still super tight and in pain, might have injured myself. So might be working through some things here. It's interesting that because energy lines cross over, this is something that my old chiropractor taught me, that normally when we overcompensate for the side that is hurt for the side that is weak. So it makes sense that I'm experiencing pain on the other side of the body because I'm babying or favoring the hurt side and overworking the other side. So that's where parallel energies, crisscrossing energies, being more dominant on one side can really cause our energies, you can see it in our bodies, favor one side. That can cause different emotions, just lack of balance. So, fun fact for you. Please go go ahead, grab some water if you are beginning to get parched or thirsty. And if you are getting up and standing up, please be very careful. You can be a little dizzy from us just being half balanced, half not. I should say that, not half balanced, half not, but you can just get a little dizzy from standing up without this work being fully complete. There, that's a much better way to say it. Okay, so our hands are on the back of the hips. However you're sitting, it will just be in a comfortable position for you. And we are working with want your hands on the back of your hips, right on those bones. So breathe in. If you need to, roll the shoulders back so that heart chakra is open. If you don't have if you have shoulder injuries, this may be a little tough for you. Do it as best as you can. If you're experiencing pain, just sit here with your hands in your lap. That is fine too. Just close your eyes, let the words wash over your body. Just be intentional with it. It's okay. But if you don't have access, roll those shoulders up and back and then place them on the back of the hips. Breathe it in. Exhale, tap into the space and see. Oh. Tap into this space and see. I literally feel like I was just hit with a pillow. Like, oh, yeah, there is some things going on in this center for me. Tap into this space, see what it feels like for you, see what thoughts come up, see what does this space feel like, what does it look like, can you see anything, is it dark, is it just a space, how does it feel if you can't see, is it just clogged, dense, tense, what's it like in there? And maybe as I see these words, you're having things happen. That's fine too. Notice if you're feeling yourself getting triggered. These are all things to explore. Keep breathing in and invite in source energy now, all the way up from both the right leg and the left leg, up both knees, all the way up the quads, the hamstrings, past the front of the hips, all the way now. Drink it in into the back of the hips. Now the hips are a center they're a big center. Our hips can become misaligned when we are wanting to go one area in life, but another part of ourselves is holding us back. So we need to take a little responsibility here, me included. I'm always running faster than I can chew. So if you've ever heard that, it can look like self-sabotage, but it can also look like the ego getting ahead of itself. And so that fine balance in the center is what is the goal. So it's funny how when, okay, yay, I built a little bit of confidence, and then the ego just swoops in and is like, I'm taking over, here we go, we're shining. And it can just go a little bit above and beyond sometimes, and that can cause harm as well. So being balanced and being in harmony is the goal here. So just explore, notice what areas may I be possibly, if your hips are tight or if they're thrown off, notice, ask yourself, what areas may I be self-sabotaging in? What areas can I give myself more love, more kindness, and more grace? Me, the first word that came to my mind was relationships. I could work on some of my relationships. I'm responding too fast, not really taking time to read, to feel, to absorb, and to digest. So still working on some qualities of being dismissive. So I just like to share a little bit of my insight so that you guys can see, like, what the heck would come up? Like, what does this work look like internally? What's going on? So that's just a little personal insight. Oftentimes when we have a flash, like the first thought, that is usually insight. That is usually intuition. It's only when we second guess ourselves and go, oh, maybe, maybe not, maybe yes. Well, what about this and this and this? That's when the ego starts carrying it. So usually that flash, that bolt of lightning, Usually that's it. Usually that's your answer. For me, instantly was boom, relationships, which is funny because, the next chakra is the root chakra, where we do hold a lot of our relationships, or a lot of our ties where we're rooted. So keep breathing in, brighten up the space, cleanse the space. See the golden liquid source energy now, glowing, shimmering, shining, just illuminating any darkness, any tension, any misalignment going on, any cords that are hanging out. Make sure the shoulders are up and back still. I noticed I started to kind of hunch there when I was speaking about my issues. It's so funny how we can just absorb and get festered into that negativity to where we're literally leaning into it, and our posture is, quite frankly, crap. We're no longer in alignment. We're no longer in our power. Our power is in alignment. Our power is not absorbed, 10 inches into the screen. So just notice where you're at physically, because that is also where you're at energetically. Breathe in. So, if you cannot see energy you will learn to see it physically. So there are different ways of seeing. If you don't see all the colors, that's completely fine. I don't always see the colors too. That stuff comes and goes. But what I do see is the energy manifesting physically. How are people carrying their bodies? What's the tone of their voice like? You'll learn to see energy on a physical person, even though you may not be able to see changing colors or rainbows or spirits. So just keep in mind, there are different ways of seeing energy, and you are learning it and learning to speak it and work with it right here, right now. So give yourself a pat on the back, and we'll move on up to the next pose. Now we get to begin to work with the chakras. So the left hand is going to be placed on the root chakra. If you are female, this is where your womb center is located. If you are a male, this is where your genitals are located. So this is a powerful area. If this area has any trauma or abuse, or is anything dense going on, or in the past that has happened, if you feel uncomfortable, again, these are just hand placements. We are not getting freaky here. If you are uncomfortable placing your hands on these centers, you can hover your hands a few inches, a few feet out in front of your body. Your intention is so powerful, you will still get the work. So don't worry if you are feeling very uncomfortable and don't want to do this. If you just want to sit here and listen, that works just as fine too. So, ease into it, do what's comfortable for you, feel safe for you. If you are experiencing flashbacks, or if you are just experiencing, triggers that are not helping you and they are causing nightmares or just some ugly feeling things, if you do need to seek additional help, I do encourage and invite you, please do so. Sometimes this work can just bring up some old stuff, and if this work makes you feel better, that's great. But if you do need additional help, we welcome that in all the time. So please know there are professionals that can help with this kind of stuff if you would like additional help. So I always like to say that before we begin working with the chakras, because the chakras hold a lot of different things that we've gone through in our lives, a lot of past experiences, and not always the good ones. It is so much easier to remember the negative experiences, because that's what will keep us safe. Is once we've learned those lessons, we then turn them into blessings only once we've learned the lesson, once we've stopped the repeating pattern, the repeating cycle that was causing harm. And so some of those things are tough lessons to learn, but we remember them because we don't want to go there again. And so sometimes our body can just be full of more safety information than good vibes and remember that time. And so the body likes what it has been familiar with. And so if there's just been trauma and drama and bad environment and a lot of things going on, it can be a process to work out of that. So, right, there's some affirmations that still to this day I need to listen to and I need to work on, but that doesn't mean that they're sitting home, they're hitting home with me, right? There's certain affirmations that I don't know if they're ever going to resonate with me, but I keep trying. The goal is to notice when we're getting triggered and how to work through that. Okay, so I think that kind of covers what all can go on there. So let's get started. Left hand is going to be placed on your root chakra, and the right hand is going to be placed right above that. So I like to put the thumb in the belly button as an anchor, and then you can just drop that right hand straight down. And breathe in. And the reason why we're having two hands here, we're working with the bottom hand, with the root, but the top hand is supporting the energy we're going to be swirling. We don't need it just going right out of everywhere. We're focusing the energy with our intention and just working with a smaller space. So breathe in here and align. And the root chakra is the color red. The root chakra is located literally at the root of your body, the root of your tailbone. So from tailbone to brain, that is where the nerves, the energy, the messages, the energetic highway is being sent all day long. So this is kind of what we're working with here, is this central spinal column. And then everything else, your extremities, are an extension of that. This is the important thing right here. So keep breathing in. And notice, is the space red? How red is it? And what shade of red is it? Is it bright red? Is it murky red? Is it dark red? Is there dust? Is there dirt? What does this center look like? Is it bloody? No need to judge. No need to fear. No need to fear. Just explore this center. Whew, mine's a mess. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. There is some, it looks like blood, like dark, clumpy blood. Now it's turning into some paint. Brighten that red up. And now the root chakra is the chakra for feeling rooted in our community, rooted in our family, rooted in who we are. So every way which you think that you can be rooted, if you are not rooted, if you don't have strong foundations, this center is a great center to focus on, to get intentional with, to work on. Physical activities that relate, there we go, we just had a big shift. Physical activities that relate to the root chakra look like volunteer work, being selfless, working on your relationships, finding ways to get rooted in your community. So any way that you can work with your hands, that can help bring balance to this center, support to this center. Oh yeah, we're having some huge shifts here, guys. Like my stomach is just bubbling. So see, how can I use my hands more for my highest good and the good of all of those around me? Maybe you'll have some images come to your mind. Breathe it in. And begin to brighten this space up. See this red color, whatever point it's at, see it starting to brighten and glow, radiate. Breathe it in. Brighten this space up. Release any past relationships with others that do not serve you. Any toxic cords. Anything that you're ready to let go of. Anything that you're ready to burn off and work on and say, no more. I've had enough. This is where I'm putting my foot down. I'm building strong foundations out of love. Clear out that root chakra. Let it be free, abundant, and open, no longer isolated, no longer dense, no longer stagnant, no longer small, no longer stuck. no longer so easily swayed by the wind, by everything that walks by and comes by, right? We want to stay rooted. So breathe into your roots, your root chakra. Feel the warmth, feel the love for yourself, feel this area just expanding and glowing, emanating. I feel so much love coming to the center. Personally, I've been working on illustrating some coloring books, just trying to do some different things, trying to figure some things out in life, trying to figure out a way I can make an income. And so part of me has been stuck in fear and the unknown, and I've never done this before, and I'm learning so many different things, and I need some organization that it's affecting these centers. So, that's what my own personal journey and story is looking like at the moment. So you can just use that in reference to explore, whatever's going on in your body. Okay. The waters are feeling really calm, really still. There's a lot of heat coming from here, very warm. It feels like it's like all around my chest, all around my body, but the vibrations are soothed. So we'll move on up to the next chakra. Left hand now moves on up to the sacral chakra, so right below the belly button. Again, you can anchor your left thumb into that belly button and drop the hand down. And the right hand is going to be placed on the solar plexus. Oh, there's a lot of activity going on here for me. And grab a drink really quickly if you need. If there's a lot of stuff that you're cleansing, that you're purging, that you're working through, if you're getting warm, if you're getting hot, if you're getting sweaty, I highly encourage you to drink an abundance of water today because you are pushing stuff out. Alrighty, and meet with me when you're ready. Left hand again on the sacral, right hand on the solar. I'm going to adjust a little bit. My hips are taking on a little pain from the way I'm sitting. All right. Left hand sacral, right hand solar, and breathe in and align. Exhale. Oh yeah, this space has some pain for me. So it's okay if all of the chakras have things going on. We can be working through a lot of different things in our lives. And also if the center core chakra is having some issues, which mine is, it can throw all the other chakras or certain specific chakras off, just depending on, the things we're working through in life. Hello, thank you for following, Vish. We're just doing a chakra session, so you can hop right in, or I will be answering questions at the end. So thank you for following and being here. Okay, now breathe in and align. Exhale. And begin to feel with that bottom hand, begin to feel around in that center with your mind's eye. Drop down from the mind's eye, past the throat, down into the heart, down into the stomach, down even lower now. Drop into that center and begin to explore. What does that center feel like? For me, honestly, it's tight. It's a little stressed. Definitely dense. So the sacral chakra is orange, and it represents our creativity and sexuality. So breathe in the color orange, Exhale at your own pace. Keep breathing in the color orange. And begin to ask yourself some questions. Are my creativity and sexuality in alignment? Have I been creative? Or has my creativity been blocked? Has my sexuality been blocked? Have I been shy to ask for my needs to be met? And maybe a little then some. Just notice, are you abusing these areas? Are you overusing these areas? Right? Because as we can be undernourished, we can be overnourished as well. That ego. Keep breathing in the color orange. And now, ask Divine Source to cut any cords with any past relationships, any toxic energy lines, anything that no longer serves you, anything that you are no longer in resonance with. Fully and completely cut those cords now. And if you do see energy cords, or if you feel energy cords, what this can look like in the physical world is somebody coming back into your life stuck on repeat after we have made firm boundaries that it is very clearly and lovingly that we would rather not, that we no longer resonate with that and we are moving on with our lives. So creating strong energetic boundaries that also reflect in the real world, knowing that we mean business, but out of love for ourselves, to keep ourselves safe, protected, but not out of isolation. So there is a balance. So if you are struggling to cut these energetic cords, ask Source to cut them. Ask your spirit guides, your ancestors, your ascension team. Invite them in, ask them for help, ask them for assistance. And I like to envision them all standing around in a circle, cheering me on. And there is a golden pair of shears, the biggest pair of scissors your mind can think of. Grab them now and cut any black cords from your body out to anyone else in the world that it is an unhealthy pattern, an unhealthy cycle, and one that you are ready to end. We try cutting cords with people that we're not done learning lessons with. These cords won't be cut. Breathe in the energy, breathe in Source energy, breathe in the color orange. And exhale any darkness, any tension, any past relationships that no longer serve you, any exes, any creativity blocks, any blocks within your sexuality. Release it now. Burn it in the orange fire. Use whatever visualization is safe for you. Is it necessary to touch your bottom stomach with your left hand? You can just use your intention. You can just let the words wash over your body. If you have any kind of things where you're just not able to get into the positions, you can just use your best intention. That is perfect. So no, it is not completely necessary to be copying these move for move. And I'm feeling a lot of heat, a lot of tension, a lot of things burning off here. If you don't know what's happening, but you just feel the warmth, ride it out. Just ride with it. Know that you're cleansing. You're doing really powerful work if you're physically sweating. Like think you're not doing cardio, you're not working out, you're not in a heated discussion. You're literally sitting here. So think of how powerful the work you are doing is if you're literally like sweating and making yourself warm. My hands are literally completely red because they are so warm. So little hand chakras, be fire. I'm also going to sit up on a yoga block because my hips are getting a little sore, and this will take the tension and the pressure off my hips. So if you have a couch cushion, that works really good too. Or a meditation pillow. Okay, next pose, we're going to be working with the solar plexus. So we'll move that hand, left hand on up between the rib cage where the ribs can no longer separate. If you've ever been punched in the solar plexus, you'll know that it is the center for your wind. You can't speak. And so oftentimes the solar plexus and the throat chakra are linked. So I'm honestly having trouble with the solar plexus. I'm having trouble digesting food, exerting my willpower because I don't have the things I need in life to be able to just, I start to make excuses. So there's a lot of things where the solar plexus can also relate to the throat chakra because of it's how our willpower also relates to how we use our voice and the things that we express in life. And if we're not digesting things properly, we're not always expressing things the best. So that can go hand in hand. I'm not doing yoga, I'm doing a chakra alignment session. Okay, left hand is on the solar and the right hand is on the heart. So breathe in and exhale. Make this practice your own. There is no right way or wrong way to do things unless you're following strict ancient principles. That is not what we're here doing. Breathe into the solar plexus and just begin to feel this center. What does this center feel like for you? Is it big? Is it closed off? Is it still? Is it grumbling? What does it look like for you? Breathe in and just explore yourself for a moment. Exhale. And now you'll notice that my breathing is going to get a little bit deeper here because this is a center that I have been working on strongly, working with. I've been having a lot of issues in this center, so yours might not look like this. That's totally okay. Breathe in. Exhale. Now I'm feeling a lot of heat. Now the solar plexus is the center for willpower, determination, for saying I can, I will, and I do. So this is a center for not only digesting physical foods, but also digesting mental thoughts, mental perceptions. And it can be perceptions from ourselves or judgments or perceptions from others. We got to digest everything that's said to us, and either we take it on and digest it, or we say, no, thank you, that doesn't resonate with me. And we kind of block it out. So these are all energetic tools. So breathe in, breathe in. Breathe in source energy. Breathe in the color yellow. Brighten that space up. Make it look like the sunshine. See it glimmering, see it glowing, see it radiating. Illuminating any darkness, any tension, anything that you've been having trouble digesting, whether it be physical or mental. Breathe in source energy. And exhale at your own pace. I'm feeling a lot of gurgling, a lot of things dropping down. Doing great. Exhale. I will be answering questions at the very end of this work. Keep breathing. Exhale. And just keep on cleansing the center. You can start to spin the energy in a circular, clockwise fashion. Spin the yellow. And just spin out anything that's remaining that's dense, anything that's heavy. Keep on spinning. Exhale. And I'm going to do a few more deep breaths just because I'm still feeling a little bit of pain right in that cisterna chyli. And the cisterna chyli is the biggest lymph node in our body. It is such a huge place of intelligence. I swear that's where our willpower and our determination, everything depends on that area. And if that area is inflamed, if your lymph nodes are inflamed, I just had a bad reaction to cherries last week, and now yesterday I tried a vegan pizza. So I'm having some lymph node enlargement, some flare-ups, and that can reflect in the chakras just because those organs are also located there. So it's all intercorrelated, it's all related and connected. I personally need a little bit more time here. If you don't, you can just sit and listen, grab some water. That's gravy, that's great. Otherwise, if you want to be here and do this, that's great too. So notice if you still have some pain going on, just keep breathing in the yellow, keep breathing in source. On the inhales and on your exhales, keep releasing any darkness, any tension, just any stagnant energy. Anywhere where you've been struggling to stand up for yourself. Also, good things to support the core, good ways to balance the core. Physical things look like anything to do with core. Pilates, sit-ups, picking weeds in the yard, cleaning your house, just anything where you're moving and bending that stomach. You don't have to be a health nut to do this, to offer yourself some support, some love. And there's nothing wrong with being that, you know, if you like that. It's all about balance. So keep breathing in. There we go. And exhale. Great work. I felt like a little flutter. So now we'll move on to the heart chakra, the throat chakra. And then we'll touch the third eye, the crown. And then we'll be done. I'll look at the chat, answer any questions. The AC is cold, so that's why I am wearing a blanket. I'm just personally chilly. I'm not going to be cold in my own home, and you shouldn't be either. Left hand on the chakra. And right hand, left hand on the solar plexus. Oh, I'm sorry, I am messing up right now. I got so cold and I lost my focus. Hold on. Reground yourself if you lost yourself there for a moment. Okay. Left hand is on the heart chakra. Right hand is on the throat chakra. If you have had any drama, personally I have had experience with a strangulation case. And so if you have any severe trauma and you do not feel comfortable placing your hand around your throat, it is completely okay. Hover your hand a few inches in front and you will still get that intention, you will still get that energy, you will still be doing the work. If you are too afraid or you're still having some things where you're just not comfortable touching near your face yet, work with yourself. This is a process. You don't need to copy something just because someone else is doing it. Do what works for your personal body. I cannot express that enough. Don't just do something because you see someone else doing it. That is not loving to your soul. Your soul is unique and has something to teach everyone here on this planet too. You're not going to do it by copying everyone else. So pick and choose what resonates with you, but still follow your own flow, follow your own divine guidance. Your connection with that guidance is unique. It's not the same as Joe Schmoes on the corner. Not that there's anything wrong with him. Maybe he's a role model, that's great. but learn your connection. So we're going to explore the heart and the throat. Left hand heart, right hand throat. Breathe in and align here. Exhale. Breathe deeply. These are some powerful centers here. The heart chakra is a big center for electricity. There is so much electricity going on. There is yin and yang energy in the heart chakra because it pushes and it pulls. We have two different compartments of the heart, which represents two different energies. There is two different actions going on here, a push and a pull. It is what circulates our blood through our body. It is a force of nature. It is electrical. So if you have trouble believing in energy, that is a really good physical representation. So breathe in and explore this bottom hand here, heart chakra. What does this space feel like? Mine, I'm closed in a little bit. I could be more loving towards myself and more loving towards others. And sometimes that looks like strong self-discipline in diet, in exercise, in, your passions, balancing that with work, play, all of these different things, and getting rid of the rest. Where are my time wasters? What am I wasting my time doing that no longer serves me? Explore these areas. Breathe in. Exhale at your own pace. Explore the center, feel the center. What does the heart, does it feel heavy? What's it carrying? Who's in there? What relationships are in there? What cords are in there? What's going on in there? Breathe in, and invite in the color green and the color pink. Now, I like to see the color of nature. I also like to see pink liquid dropping into the heart chakra and just swirling around now, cleansing the space, brightening up the space. And the heart chakra is our center for another big center for relationships. But as you can guess, it is the center for love, for self-love, for love of others, love of the planet, for your passions. For gratitude. What does this space feel like for you? Mine feels like we've been putting a lot more loving things in it, but we still have some work to do. Feel your heartbeat slowing, calming, drinking in the green and pink. I'm feeling very calm, very grounded. Breathe in. Exhale at your own pace. If neck rolls are safe for you and you are feeling guided, please do so. My neck is cracking a lot. We're moving a lot of energy between the heart and the throat. It's just trying to really come up in there and escape, but it's topped with this upper hand, so it has no option but to keep swirling. Counterclockwise, or not counterclockwise, clockwise. Keep breathing in. And exhale at your own pace. And we will keep working with the throat chakra. So move your hand up, left hand up to the throat, right hand on the third eye. And if you're getting warm and you need to remove your sweatshirt, blankie, go for it. Make this practice your own. Breathe in and align. And drop your intention, drop your awareness down into the throat. As soon as I said that, my whole body just came attention. Breathe into the throat center. Exhale. And the throat is our center for speaking, for engaging, for clarity, for how we connect with others. What does this area feel like? Is it gaining wisdom? Is it gaining power? Is it gaining strength? Or is it shaky? Is it shy? Do you overshare? Or do you not stand up for yourself enough? Do you not speak up when you need to? Are you speaking your truth? These are all good questions to ask this center. So ask yourself this and begin to feel the energy. Is it shifting as you ask yourself these things, as you think on these things? Breathe in. And see, the throat chakra is the color blue. I like to envision the ocean. Now, within our energetic bodies, it is just like the ocean. There is a low tide, a mid tide, and a high tide. And low tide drops to about the knees. Mid tide goes about up to the solar plexus. And high tide rises all the way over, washes all over our energetic body. When we are grounded, our bodies experience low tide, mid tide, and high tide naturally, just like nature. But when we become unbalanced and stuck, as some of the chakras become heavy and dense, loaded with extra energy, cords, experiences, emotions, we start to experience less and less of the energy covering the entire body. And we start to experience physical symptoms as messengers of what's going on. So breathe in, explore the throat. What's the center look like? Is it dark? Can we illuminate it? Breathe in and try to illuminate it now. Invite in the ocean, invite in the waves. Invite in the sky, crystal clear blue. Blue water, blue sky, blue waves. And I can hear and feel energy just dripping down my throat. Maybe you can feel mucus dripping down. It's all natural, it's all normal, just let it happen. Breathe it in. Exhale. And I need a posture check, so I'm going to invite you to create one as well if you are in need. Shoulders up and back. If your arms are getting tired, you can shake it out. Keep breathing. Exhale. And feel, how does that throat feel now? My throat is starting to feel less shaky, more calm, more playful, more loving. Notice how yours feels. And just keep taking some deep breaths into that center. Exhale. And release the throat chakra hand. And move that one hand, move your left hand all the way up to the crown chakra now. And we're going to begin working with the third eye. So if your arms are tired, if your shoulders are tired, if your arms are sore, shake it out. Take a little breather. It's okay. Grab yourself a drink. Excuse me. All right, third eye and crown chakra. Okay, back in alignment. Realign real quick. Exhale. All right. And the third eye is our center for intuition. Also our center for thinking, judgments, perception, clarity, Mostly perception though, the way we see things, physically, mentally, spiritually. Breathe in. And begin to see the color indigo, a mix of purple and blue. I personally love to just envision a blueberry being placed on my third eye and just squishing it with my thumb, letting that liquid blueberry, all those juices drip down the body, nourish and saturate the body. Drink it in, drink in this beautiful magical color. Create clarity in thinking, thought perceptions, judgments. Clearing out the neural pathways. Breathe it in. Exhale. And when you feel ready, let this top hand, the crown chakra, release. Open it up to source. Breathe in and see a violet flame. This is a spiritual flame that you can use anytime. Drop it down in from the crown chakra and let it engulf the entire body to protect, to cleanse off anything that no longer serves, anything you're trying to illuminate, anything you're trying to work on. Engulf it in this spiritual violet flame now. Anything left trying to remain hidden, back to source. Claim it. Make it so. As above, so below. And release. Go right into hands now on the knees. Palms face down. Why? Because we are grounding. We're grounding and sending our energy downwards. We're going to think our energy and intention down into the earth, down into the ground. And so we are putting our palms as a physical representation of going down. Breathe in. Exhale. And now, think tree roots growing from your tailbone, from your legs, from your feet, from any part of the body that may be in contact with the ground, with the earth. Maybe it's just your feet, that's fine. See those tree roots growing from your spine, your tailbone, your feet, your hands, just your body in general, growing down, 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 breaching the surface of where you're at, breaching and breaking through those layers, energetically down, down, down. Send the energy from your head, from your heart, from your throat, from your stomach, all the way down, 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 down into the ground, down through the layers of rock, through the layers of dirt, through the layers of soil, through the layers of clay. Keep sending and growing your tree roots now, down, down, down. See them getting bigger, stronger, wider, more nourished, energetic, big and strong, gaining in strength, growing each second. And begin to wrap your tree roots far and wide across any crystal caves, anything solid that you can find. Keep breathing in. Exhale. And once you feel grounded, you may feel some clicks in your body. You may just feel really solid, really calm. Maybe you get a little sleepy, a little relaxed. It's all normal, it's all good. Begin to visualize your tree roots. You can do one of two things. You can visualize them, drinking them back up You can visualize them being completely eliminated, just fading away. You can just come back into your body and just leave them. Just come back into your body, do some deep breathing. So whichever one of those you choose and prefer, whichever one works for you, I invite you to try that. And come back when you're ready. And we'll hop in the chat, answer questions, go over anything we may have missed. All right, so thank you, highest self. Thank you, source. Thank you, ancestors, spirit guides, ascension team, teachers, healers, masters. Thank you all for being here, for helping cleanse and ascend. Thank you for taking responsibility for the energies that emanate. If you were here right along doing this session with me, or if you were in the chat today, I appreciate you. Next thing we're doing is going to be drinking a lot of water. Make sure if you have done this session and you enjoyed it, be gentle with yourself today. Hydrate. Hydration is very important, especially if you were sweating, if you were purging or cleansing any energies. Definitely want to be replacing. Get your electrolytes in, get your water in. Alrighty, and I'm going to catch up on the chat. Okay, is it necessary to touch your body? I already read that. Response, I do yoga myself, but you're doing it a little differently. Like, I don't use a blanket and socks while doing yoga. Yes, so that can definitely be strict yoga principles. I love not wearing socks and being as free as I can. Doing naked yoga is great. Obviously, I can't do that here. But yes, any extra layers that you can take off can make some people feel more comfortable. That's great. I know rubber shoes energetically disconnect us from the earth, and shoes are horrible. So I completely understand your wanting to remove even more layers. Definitely. It is different, yeah. So I did a chakra alignment the way I learned it. There's other forms of energy work, like yoga or meditation is a form of energy work. Reiki or self-Reiki is another form of energy work. They do a lot more hand placements all over the body. So there's a ton of different ways of doing energy work. There's so many different forms out there. I absolutely love it. I am not a vegetarian, but I am trying to I'm trying to learn to get into that lifestyle more than I ever have in the past. So no, I'm not a vegetarian, I'm not a vegan. I don't claim for any of those labels, unfortunately, but am I working towards that? Yes, definitely trying to go in that direction because I have some health issues that I'm working through. So that's the purpose of this channel. Is I'm on my own personal healing journey, and I'm just showing you guys what the heck I all do, because a lot of people find it kind of interesting. So I hope you enjoy it, and if not, I'm sorry. Thank you for following, Stealth. Greetings, Your Majesty. Oh, you're so sweet. May I say, you're such an inspiration, Queen. Oh, you are too sweet. Thank you so much. You are truly beautiful, inspirational, amazing, and wise. Oh, she really is. Oh, thank you. You are so kind. I've been working through a lot of ugly things, so that is just so sweet. Thank you so much. Alrighty, guys. We're done with the chakra session. I hope you enjoyed. You will see other people out in the world doing different versions of what I do. Doesn't mean they're wrong. Just means, what they're doing probably works for them, and that's great. If it's not working for you, keep exploring, guys. Keep searching, keep hunting, keep seeking, right? Let's all be light and truth seekers. Man, that AC is just fierce today. So, probably gonna maybe get a sweatshirt, but let's drink some water, and we're gonna go in the kitchen and we're gonna make a veggie soup for lunch. I'm going to make an orange juice. And then I'm gonna get vulnerable with y'all and show you my stomach and be sharing how, why, and what the purposes of bentonite clay are. So I did a bentonite clay mask a few days ago on stream, and my internet just went to heck and everything like shut down. So we're just kind of redoing a day 2 self-care stream. Okay. So clean up in here. Easy cleanup. And I also took an activated charcoal pill today, so I'm going to be drinking a lot of water. I'm also going to be peeing out those toxins a lot. So there's a little mantra I love to pair with affirmations. I love to pair my energy work. I like to keep it going all day long, right? Because if I just start living my day, pretty soon I'm not living intentionally. I'm just living moment to moment, emotion to emotion. I'm not intentional with my energy. And so using affirmations and mantras when I do things throughout the day keeps my energy, my intention, my power within myself, and I don't just get so absorbed by butterflies and check out what this cool person's doing. And before you know it, you're so lost in everyone else's life, you're not living your own. So, take 5 minutes, go out in the sun. Come back and watch this video. But no, seriously, take time for you. I don't remember what the purpose of that was, but it clearly needed to be said because it was said. We're going to move on into the kitchen now, so bear with me here while I move everything. I feel good after that chakra session. I hope you guys do too. Oh, things are crazy. And I don't know what the camera looks like, so my apologies if you're up close and personal. Ooh, in my face, in my space. Wow. We're losing control here, guys. Okay, let's go into the kitchen. I should have just taken 2 trips. That would have been smarter. And see, where are the doggies? Okay, we'll have to open up some blinds in here as well. So thank you for being patient while I get this set up. Wow, you guys are just seeing the mess, huh? Let's get some blinds open in here. Ooh, and I do have to run to the bathroom. These open. Ooh, sunlight. Okay, I'm gonna run to the bathroom really quickly. I'm streaming from my phone. I don't have a laptop. I don't have a be right back sign. My apologies. I'm not a high quality streamer. The content is like, what is my thing here? So my apologies if you're here for like channel points and all the jazzy stuff. One day we'll get there. But I'm gonna run to the bathroom really quickly and I will be back. Alrighty, find some chapstick because my lipstick is getting crusty AF. It's always gross when that happens. Oh, my poor little dogs. I always think I'm talking to them when I'm streaming. And let me see, what is our battery at here? 63%. Okay, so we will leave it for a while. Get some lip chap on my lips. Be Cassidy. Alright, and we're on to the fun part of the day, the fun part of the stream. It's always good putting in some work. Also, before I finish, I never finish about the affirmations. So, I like to use affirmations throughout the day to keep my energy in alignment, to keep my intention focused. And so I will use mantras, even when I'm going to the bathroom. The words that I'm saying to myself are cleansing and purifying toxins. I'm cleansing and purifying, cleansing and purifying. I just repeat those words over and over and over when I'm in the bathroom. And it can just help shift things. A hypnotherapist recently emailed me and talked to me about some of these energetic things. Every time you drink water, water holds such an amazing... Water flows. Water can be destructive. Water can be cleansing. Water is so good for balancing, for rehydrating. We can't live without it. And so we can even put intentions and affirmations into our water. There is a bug in here. While we're drinking it, before we're drinking. So you can say cleansing, purifying, that kind of stuff. That is managing your energy, learning to manage your energy body. Okay, and now we're going to get started on today. We are making, on the stream I have today, to chakra align. Check. I also, ooh, good thing I wrote a list today. I need to make, my dog does not like her new pills. She refuses them. Will not take them, spits them out, wants nothing to do with them. We are going to put them into something edible that she can eat. To mask it, to hide it. She has no idea. She eats them. We've done this before. And now we need a new batch. So that our other dog doesn't feel left out, we make her this as well, plain. No pills in them, obviously. But they each get one. One gets one with the pills in it, and one gets one without the pills, so that they each get something. They're never feeling like one dog's getting spoiled. So that's a really good way. If you have dogs, and one dog has to have medication that the other one doesn't get, it does look unfair for one dog to be getting attention, even though it's, not the type of attention that they clearly want. The other one doesn't know that. So we have to think of animals like humans as well. Like, they have that same jealousy, attention, affection. They just want love. They literally just want love. So we're going to be making frozen pumpkin treats and putting pills in one, and I don't think I need to make my other dog anymore. I think she still has a batch. Also, I'm making veggie soup. So whatever veggies I have, I think I have cabbage, zucchini, carrots. We have lots of stuff to work with. We just went to the grocery store. Cucumbers and onions. I am keeping this one vegetarian. Let's see. Well, I'm also going to be making a juice that is orange. So I got those mangoes again. I got some grapefruit. I got some oranges. Carrots. And then we'll bentonite clay and then we'll write it out. So it's 10:44, 10, 11, 12, 1. Let's start the soup now. We'll make the juice and the frozen pumpkin goodies when the soup is boiling, because that'll take like an hour. And I just feel like these are just really ugly right here. Big old sack of potatoes. There's like so much stuff here. I have like the toaster, the mail, the juicer, the air fryer. There's too much stuff energetically taking up this space. My kitchen needs to be reorganized one day. I see that. Okay, so let's get out all of the things that we need. I got my favorite knife, my cutting board. Going to need the stock pot. I also need to make sure I'm drinking a lot of water today. Stock pot. But soup, big soup making. We're getting the big soup maker out. Oh yeah, I'm talking Big Bertha. She's coming out. You guys are gonna laugh, but this thing is huge. I know, the first time I made this soup, I was like, oh, this is ridiculous. I'm not gonna get the big one out. That's overkill. And I ended up pouring it into this and slashing and making a huge mess. So this is what we're going with. This is the Big Daddy. Alrighty. Oh, there's no sage in here, and the sage is in my bedroom. I want the world to know. Got to that age. Okay, and I have to let my doggies out really quickly. So, por favor, I'm so sorry. Take care of them, then I'll have to take care of them for 2 more hours. So they gotta go out every 2 hours. So thank you for being patient with me. Hey, stop scavenging. A psycho potty. Your sister needs to hurry it up. So I can start your projects. Echo, come on. Echo. Echo. Come on. Come on, girl. No outside time on the street now. Sorry. My apologies if that was a little loud and unnecessary. My animal wants to tan and I want to scream, so power struggle. You guys. B, if you're in the chat, freaking, you don't have to listen, just look at the screen. Look at what Nick got sent from his new boss, his new job, his new work. My fiance just got a new job, and you know they're working for a legit, awesome, amazing, kind company when you have a delivery thanking you for and welcoming you into the company. So we had a delivery and we didn't know about it this morning. We got cold packaged brownies in the shape of stars from Fairy Tale Brownies as a welcome to the company thing. Now there are, you guys, I'm telling you this after I'm just like, oh, I didn't eat good food last night, like my stomach hurts, and then these bad boys are literally on the doorstep, and I'm like, oh, what am I supposed to do with you? Like, I can't. But they can be on the counter for 7 days, they can be in the refrigerator for 30, or they can be in the freezer for 6 months. So I'm just like, let's heal these digestive issues, and I'm gonna have me a brownie, a few star-shaped, tiny brownie bites in like a few months. Like, Oh man, do I want one so bad right now? Oh yeah, there is chocolate chip. They're called magic morsels. They're freaking adorable. Bite-sized fairy tale brownies. Like, when we got this package, I was like, dang! I love their marketing materials, the colors, the story, the shape of the brownies. I can't wait to try them. So there is chocolate chip, cream cheese, caramel, raspberry swirl, walnut. I think that's it. An original. Like, oh my gosh. I'm excited for him. I'm so excited for him. What a warm, awesome, welcoming gift. That's just beautiful. That just really touched my heart this morning. So, fairy tale brownies, really cool. Oh, that's right, he had the lid off so we could eat these later. I may try one tonight. I just may not be able to resist. It just depends on how I'm feeling. I'm not supposed to be doing sugar or chocolate or anything right now just because of the stomach issues that I'm trying to heal from. And then this literally comes on the doorstep. Like, we don't go out and buy stuff like this. It came to us. So I feel like we should just indulge. But isn't that awesome? Like, how cool. How cool. Alrighty, I am looking for the vegetables. Zucchini. Oh, I have a lot of zucchinis in here. Oh, that's right. Zucchini. Carrots. Oh no! I bought a big, huge bag of carrots yesterday, and I see that I have another big one down below as well. Way too many carrots. Carrot overload. Okay. Okay, what am I grabbing? Got some kale. Celery. I'm looking for the cabbage. Oh, the mushroom. I want the mushrooms. The mushrooms and the cabbage. See, hold on, oh, this looks like it might be bad. I have another one that I might have to cut up. Oh no, this is bad. Cabbage, big head. And what is the date today? Oh, it's my mom's birthday. I have got to wish my mother a happy birthday. Oh no! This might be bad too. Let's get some lemon water going. Lemon water is great for rehydrating, for energy, replenishing electrolytes. dishwasher probably. Yep. So what was it, yesterday? I think I started drinking like coconut and lemon water, and all of a sudden I was awake. I was like, I guess I don't need a nap anymore. I was just energized, and I was like, I guess my energy was just because it was low because my electrolytes were low and like replenished, and that creates fatigue and lack of minerals, lack of vitamins. You don't have anything to support yourself, so you have a hard time getting to where you want to go. So because I'm healing from an infection in my stomach, there are literally things scavenging my body and stealing those good nutrients that I'm supposed to be taking. So I have to go through and cleanse and purify my body, clear out anything that they can thrive on so that they move out. So it's literally, you can think of this like literal natural pest control, right? You can only put things into here to make this environment your own, not one that they thrive off of. And so those brownies just had to come, didn't they? But like I said, last night I had the vegan cheese pizza. That messed me up, so I have to restart all over anyways. So it's definitely not bad to have brownies. Please don't think that I'm like promoting something like that, because I'm not. And just with what I'm specifically going through right now, those foods aren't good for me. But I love them and I don't shame them. I just have to have self-discipline right now because of my own personal things I'm going through. So recognize that too. When you listen to like other people talk in their channels, like there can just be things going on behind the scenes that you don't know about. Ouch. All right, let's get some stuff out here. I need a yellow bell pepper. Oh no, then we're not gonna have enough. Ugh. Dang. Okay, well, I'm just gonna have to. We're having stuffed peppers tonight, and I only bought 4 organic peppers, so I can't steal those ones. Darn it! I'm just gonna have to use these peppers. Now I'm old school. I soak my vegetables. I should change this to a cooking screen, but I don't really know how to do that from my phone. I soak my vegetables in vinegar and water to remove pesticides, dirt, soil, parasite eggs, whatever's out there in the wild. Oh, here we go. This strainer is perfect for that, because then I can just soak my water and vinegar in here and just hold the strainer cup right when I need to. So I was seeing something energetically, like, what is going on? I've seen it yesterday too. Signs. The signs be speaking. Okay. this right now. And I just pour a splash of vinegar. But not until after the water's already been in there. Water, make sure everything's covered. I take these out, so I'm not pouring straight up vinegar. I'm not trying to pickle them. So, pour just a splash of vinegar in there, swirl it around, and then put your vegetables in there. That's one way you can do it. You can also wash with a vegetable wash, or sometimes I just use Dr. Bronner's lavender soap. It's just a pure, natural Castle soap. They also have a brand of vegetable wash now, specifically for this. I just haven't traveled over to the health food store and gone into that part of town yet. And I just soak them for a few minutes until whenever I'm done and I need them out of the way. Let's see if this cabbage is good. Might just be dirt. So let's peel off the first layer and see. Oops. So the outside leaves are always the protective leaves on lettuce, on cabbage. I personally do not eat those. I've seen a lot of restaurants, a lot of people just go ahead and do it. If it's like ugly and gross, I'm not putting that in my body, especially if I have the choice. So there's that. That's why you'll be like, oh my gosh, you're wasting a whole leaf. Well, yeah, I'm probably gonna waste, not waste, but I'm probably not going to eat the stuff that I can literally see stuff on. Drives me nuts when you get like a salad and you can like physically see like the water mold, the brown parts on the lettuce where the water has molded onto the lettuce. It's like, you can see that. Why are you giving that to me? That is disgusting. I'm sure people who don't eat salads don't know that, but if you're in the food business and you work with that item, you should know that. Not that I'm just a big salad snob, because steak is like my absolute favorite. I'm trying to learn to not eat as many animals or any at all. We'll see. I gotta do what my body calls for, what works for me. And right now, it is calling for more vegetables. Definitely more vegetables. Gotta be careful with the fruits though. All the sugar kind of gets the problem that I have going on. Gets to be a little much. And this just needs to be washed. So for my vegetable soup, I got a recipe here. It's called hearty vegetable soup. I kind of go by it. Kind of just go by whatever's in my fridge as well. I don't know what that was. Alright. And our cabbage is saved. It's good. I'm happy. So I can actually chop this up. Dang fruit, there is a fruit fly around here. The worst. Alrighty, I don't even remember how to cut this. I'm just gonna cut it like I do a wedge salad. Oh, geez. Okay, let's do this the other way, Brittany. That is smarter. Okay. Cut the stem out. I think cutting like a wedge salad worked very well. I'm actually just gonna bring this. Bring this to me. Wash my hands. Okay. No, this leaf just still has some stuff on it, so I'm gonna get rid of this one too. All right, now I'm left with perfect wedge. All the outside layers have already been taken off, all the dirty layers, so literally I'm done with it. It can be cut and go into my soup. So I'm just put that off to the side. It's part of the bath leaf, and continue shaving out the core. Check the outside. I still see some stuff. If you want to try washing it off, you can. It's honestly kind of limp, so I'm sorry, but we're not messing with limp over here. The limp cabbage. Cabbage peel. Big dogs! That's a big onion. Hey, you just heard me. We don't mess around with anything limp around here. My cabbage leaves the outside of the limp. How are you doing? It feels like Friday. I think because usually I stream on Fridays. Welcome in, welcome in. How are you? Okay, I don't know how many cabbages we're gonna need here. Shoot, this doesn't even call for cabbage. This is something that I do myself. So we'll figure it out. We have our huge stock pot today. It looks ridiculous, but it gets full. I make a lot of soup and then I freeze a bunch of it. I wonder if I even have any left. Should probably check before I start making this. Yeah, none left. Good, and you? Good, I'm glad you're doing good. I'm doing a self-care day because my stomach has not been feeling good. But besides that, things are great. We got brownies delivered to our house because my fiance's new job, like, brownies were magically delivered to my door. It was amazing. I haven't eaten one yet, but I can't wait to. I'm trying to exert self-discipline, but I can't say that it's still gonna be there tonight because, man, brownies were my favorite. Brownies and cookies and chips, my absolute faves. I know, absolutely horrible for me. So, for lunch, I'm making veggie soup. I'm doing a juice that's orange. I'm taking care of myself. And then tonight, hopefully if I still have energy, we're going to do stuffed peppers. So, I don't know if I'll just be doing a vegetarian and rice. Probably. Maybe I'll make some meat. I don't know if I'll be indulging. We'll see. We'll see. Brownies delivered? That's awesome. Yeah, so as a welcome to our team, welcome to your new job, even though sometimes it's remote from home, they send him brownies. And not only like, I'm not talking like, oh, someone mailed us brownies, little like a legit brownie company who specializes in in like food sent us this. So we have a ton of little bites like this, and they're in the shape of a star, I guess, and I cannot, oh my god, there's so many of them, and they're sitting there. And then the rest of the fridge is full of vegetables. We went shopping yesterday, I loaded up, it's crazy. I'm like, oh no, brownies. That was nice. Thank you. Yes, stuffed peppers, fucking rad. His new job. Thank you so much. B, what did you say? I saw your TikTok. I don't have TikTok, but I know B does, and I know her TikToks are hilarious. When she sent me some, they are funny. Alright, we do it here. We are cutting the cabbage. I really enjoy cabbage. So let's see, how much am I gonna put in here? I think next time, I think last time I also ended up using 2 vegetable broths. What's new in your world, big dogs? Alrighty, I think I'm going to do, I like a lot of cabbage, but how much cabbage is too much cabbage? Okay, let's just start with 1, because once you've cut it up, then it's like you have to use it. Sorry, that cupboard's probably slammed really loud. I should probably be a little bit more mindful of that. I have a mess going on here. No, I wasn't good at math, but dang am I good at Tetris. Geometry, that's just like my thing. Don't understand the rest of it. Alright, now that we muscled the cabbage in there, quite well, might I say, we'll take the peppers out of the vinegar water so that they're not pickling. Oh, there goes another red cabbage in the back of the fridge. So, what can all of this... Where'd that bowl go? Right into here. Alright. Let's do the onion. Which is a faster way to peel onions. I think that's one of my least favorite things to do. But we're not going to focus on that because then that's where the energy goes. So, good properties of onions. Let's think about the good properties. Good properties of onions are very nourishing, very cleansing, good for killing bacteria. I don't really know the medicinal properties. I can't think of like anything right now except for like, I know an old wives' tale is you can put onions on the bottoms of your feet to draw out toxins and cleanse and pull anything, but that would stink. Can you imagine the smell of onions? But I'd be interested in hearing people, I've heard of people trying it. Or I should say I've read about people trying it. Haven't known anyone personally put onions on the bottoms of their feet when they go to sleep at night to try to detoxify. One method I have not tried. I've tried a lot of methods. And I learned only a short while ago that mushrooms shouldn't be rinsed underwater. I guess I didn't know that. I was trying to get them clean and they would just get nasty and gross. And so now I just wipe them off with a paper towel to get the dirt off. I no longer try to wipe them with, or soak them in water like I used to. I didn't know what I was doing. Now, no wonder why mine suck all the time. Now I can get downs with the mushrooms. Okay, let's see, what am I doing here? Yeah, I guess these are really big onions. I picked them out myself. See, we don't want long stringy onions. We want bite-sized onions. It's always smart to think about how and what you're going to be eating when you're cutting so that you know what kind of shape do you want to cut your food into. Because normally I do long sliced stringy onions, but for a soup, you don't want stringy onions falling off of a spoon unless you're doing like a French onion soup. Even then, I just rather prefer the onion square instead of like long and rectangle. I'm gonna do the whole onion. I love white onions. Red onions just about kill me. I don't know what the heck it is. I literally had to pick them out of my salad the other day because I was freaking out. My body was just not having it. They were like so strong. I was like gagging and gasping for air. No, I wasn't going to like anaphylactic shock or anything. I don't know what they're doing. They just weren't doing something nice to me. The red onions be strong. I think they were raw too, so that always makes it extra powerful and worse. Whoa, I always do that. It goes all over the counter. Okay. Now some garlic. Now we have to go get those peppers so we don't pickle it. I'm going to do 3 cloves of garlic because I like it garlic. Oh, it says 6 cloves, so why 3 was nothing. 6 cloves of garlic. 1, 2, 3, 4. Woo! 6 is a magic number. Man, I am hungry. We'll probably crack an apple open. Eat one of those too before we eat the soup while it's being made. Peppers. Shake your peppers and the vinegar water around. Maybe you'll see dirt in the water. And then rinse them. Make sure you rinse them again. These peppers have a lot of seeds, so unfortunately I'm going to have to de-seed them. These aren't normally the peppers that are in this meal. I'm working with what I have. Ooh, I feel like one of those peppers was spicy on my hand. Oh, spicy pepper. Chopping heads, chopping heads. Oh, this one's a cutie. Off with your head, off with your head. So cute, those little like pepper tops. Whoa. All I can think about is brownies in the fridge. Not the worst. So you're trying so hard. I just don't want a bunch of seeds in my soup just because they're not pleasant to chew on. Now, if you're going to be like making a salsa and they're going to be like sitting in a liquid and you're not going to be like chewing it, definitely keep them in. But seeds can help keep it spicier. That's just a little tip. Okay, let's see. Now chop them up now that they're de-seeded. A little cutie pepper here. Alrighty. Well, we didn't have a bell pepper to use, or to spare, I should say. We didn't have a bell pepper to spare. So we are chopping up some other peppers that we had on hand that we actually needed to get rid of, so this is perfect.
we need to pick up the pace here. Pick up the speed. We're moving a little freaking slow here. Mash them together and chop them up, and here we go. I need a sharper knife. This one's getting dull. This is my sharpest knife. No. I should not have to sell my food like this. I need a knife sharpener. Forget buying new knives. I need a knife sharpener. I have knives. I just need a sharpener. Oh god, that was my thumb. That was close. Okay, get sharp knives and then just chop your thumb off. These peppers are good. There we go. Oh, my last one was not smooth. All right. Garlic next. Easiest way to get that shell off is just crush it. Crush it. Throw it in. Oh. No, don't just throw it in there. Jeez. Minced. This needs to be minced. I'm just like, no. Crushing garlic. No, this one's bad. This one's bad. I think this one might be bad too. My thumb. No, this one's still good. So let's keep moving along. Oh, I think peeling garlic is my least favorite part. Like I said, the onions and the garlic, they get me. This is not for you. You are not allowed to have this. Little Miss Thang. If you're any huffing and puffing, loud mouth breathing, it is my dog on the floor. Last one. Clean up as we go. And mince the garlic. No, not on the floor. That always happens. Mince this up really well, just because no one likes to get a big, I'm probably gonna be the only one eating this. No one likes to get a big chunk of garlic. Unless you really love garlic. Alright, this is minced perfectly. A lot of garlic. It's gonna make this dish flavorful, tasty, yummy broth. Michael Scott. Oops, no! Oh, wait. Onion, mushrooms, and salt. Okay. Oh no, I already chopped up the onion. Curses. So you know what? We're just gonna... get another bowl and see if we can't pour some of this in there. Without the cabbage, because we have the cabbage at the bottom. So I didn't read directions. Honestly, I wouldn't have to, but it's okay. We'll just fry up some of this for flavor. It'll be more tasty anyways that way. Doesn't need to be done, but it'll be more tasty, so that's what we'll do. Okay, so I am going to fry up the peppers, onions, and garlic. Also, we called for the mushrooms, so let me get the mushrooms in there. Saute them, and then everything else can be added. But I'm not even done cutting everything else up, so, you know, I could do some more better organization. So it's like, here's what I'm doing now, here's what I'm doing now. Right, so. Oh, that celery looks sick. Let's do 3 sprigs of celery. 3 just seems like a good number. Use the rest for my green juices. Got to drink some water. Peel some carrots. Oh, my back is starting to get a little bit sore. of food in my hair. Peeling, peeling, peeling. All right. This one can be washed because the insides of it were exposed. Let's carry it. Yum. Alright. Wash my zucchini and celery next. I know this celery piece is 6 too. We need, guess we're having 2 pieces of celery instead of 1. Or 3. I'm gonna put some natural plant-based soap on my zucchini. Get that wax or anything that may be on there off. Not much shinier. Also put the extra padding under my feet because my back is really starting to hurt. And I've only been streaming for, I've only been in the kitchen for an hour. Ooh, my back. Oh, that's so much better. Oh my goodness. I need a bigger, cushier mat in my kitchen so I don't have to move them. I need a big square one. Oh my goodness. So my back isn't constantly hurting. This is so much more supportive. Ooh, got some cushion under me now. Okay. Let's chop this in half. And chop it in half again. We're gonna quarter this zucchini. And slice and dice. Oh, it's so soft. You never had zucchini chocolate cake? It's the absolute bomb. You're eating vegetables and you don't even know it. So these are really big pieces. Okay. Cut off any bad parts of your celery, usually just the tips. Just the tips need to be cut off. Sometimes not. And cut the roots off. And I'm actually keeping the leaves. To eat. Garnish. Some will be cooked in there. Let's cut this in half because this one's kind of big. Celery just sounds so cool when it's cut because it's filled with water. So it just cuts different. And yeah, I guess we'll do this one in half too. you see what, I make this soup in bulk, so I only have to do all of this one time. And I'm just gonna cut the celery leaves up into small pieces. And they can be thrown right in the soup and eaten as well. Alright. Next, I'm going to clean off these mushrooms. Oh, excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 sounds good. I need something to eat. So it's probably extremely loud. It'd be loud in the kitchen today. Wiping these off. The dry cloth. This is the fastest way to do it, I have found. Just rotate them, rotate them, rotate them. And keep making sure you're rotating your napkin so that the dirt's not going right back on there. Wipe it off your cutting board so it's not just retransferring, because it will retransfer. Alright, and that looks great. Beautiful. Stinky mushrooms stink when they are raw. Oh, I don't know how anyone can eat these raw. I saw someone on Twitter say you are a super gremlin if you can eat mushrooms raw. Absolutely hilarious. Like, that's so true. That's just raw. Raw mushrooms are intense. Yuck. Right. This mushroom's cute, has a little butt. Three more to go. It's usually when I have to use the back side of my cloth because the other parts are usually so full of like little specks of dirt. Right. I like to get the whole mushrooms just because I feel like personally for me they last longer. When I get the sliced open ones already, it's like they're exposed to oxygen, someone else has touched them already. I just feel like they harbor bacteria faster than when I leave them whole and complete and just put them in the back of the fridge. Last one.